Tesla has been enjoying a great time being at the top of the EV market. While there are other EVs out there, none of them can really challenge Tesla when it comes to specifications such as range, acceleration, price, and above all, the software. The competition has been almost non-existent, but that might change soon. Lucid has been grabbing the headlines recently, and rightfully so. They've announced that they have the fastest EV charging in the world, and their sedan will be the longest range production vehicle. But before we dig in, let's get plugged in. Hello and welcome back to another episode here on EV Source. My name is Harry and I'm your host for today's dose of EVs and technology. Before we begin, I want to give a warm welcome to our newest Patreon member, Thang. I probably butchered the name, but hey, I tried. Thank you for your kind support though, you are amazing. Now let's move on with the show. It's about time that we discuss and go over a company that has been under Tesla's shadow for as long as I can remember. But now they're finally making their way into the light and grabbing the attention that they deserve. And of course, I'm talking about Lucid, and I'm happy to say that Tesla might finally have a worthy competitor. Let the battle between Tesla and Lucid begin. Although they will mostly compete in the luxury segment of the industry while Tesla is mostly in the premium segment. I say mostly because in my opinion, the Model S and X can be considered to be more luxurious than premium.
Because our car is operating in a different sector of the market. It's truly luxurious car. So we're really, you need to compare us with a Mercedes-Benz S-Class, not something like a C-Class Mercedes.
What about the higher end Teslas?
Well, an S-Class Mercedes is our core competitor, but a Model S Tesla, yes, that would be a comparative electric model. But we differ in that we're truly a luxury brand. If you look at Tesla, they're high-tech, they're beautifully engineered, they're very disruptive, and they're premium price. But you only have to get inside a Tesla to recognize it's not really a luxury car, it's a premium car, but not true luxury.
The company is led by Peter Rawlinson, who was the lead engineer for the Tesla Model S. During his time with Tesla, his attention to detail and thirst for perfection was the reason the Model S became such a successful vehicle. His constant nitpicks and desire to do better drove Tesla's first sedan to become the pioneer of electric transportation. But he left Tesla in 2012 and joined Ativa in 2013, which is now known as Lucid Motors. The company has since been working on a sedan and an SUV and is expected to unveil them both on September 9th, which is just around the corner. Recently, someone captured a few photos of the Lucid vehicles while driving by in the Pescadero area. The scene looks like they were possibly shooting a promotional video for the sedan and the SUV, which might be shown in the upcoming unveiling event. The pictures give an idea of the actual colors the cars come in and the size of the SUV, which by the way looks quite big. I'm not sure if the color is different in both vehicles, but in this picture it certainly looks like the sedan has more of a golden color and the SUV has silver or champagne color. But it could be just the angle and the way the sunlight is hitting the vehicles. Both cars look amazing and are aesthetically pleasing, but let's look at their specs first and see how Lucid actually competes against Tesla. And if you're new to the channel, welcome! Please take a moment to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you don't miss anything going forward. This small gesture really helps out with the channel. Now let's jump back in. While some specs are yet to be revealed, we do know that the sedan has a 113 kWh battery pack that offers an EPA estimated range of 517 miles. A real-world test shows that it can go about 490 miles on a single charge. You can never really get the same EPA range in real-world settings, but it does give an idea of how much range you can expect. That's a lot more than what the Tesla Model S offers, which just recently received an updated EPA range of 402 miles. But Lucid doesn't stop there. The Lucid Air sedan can charge really fast. In fact, it can charge up to 20 miles in a minute. That's 100 miles in 5 minutes. The maximum charging rate it is capable of handling is 350 kilowatts. Compare that to Tesla that has a maximum charging rate of 250 kilowatts. Lucid is clearly challenging the existing norms. Rawlinson also mentioned that Lucid is focusing on efficiency by making its cars more drag coefficient and miniaturizing the powertrain. which is working on a 900-volt system, the highest EV voltage to date, whereas Tesla operates on a 400-volt system. When Lucid first brought their electric sedan to the public's attention a few years ago, the expected range was over 400 miles, and people wouldn't believe that they could do it. But now there are no doubts left, and I'm actually happy that they were able to make an EV capable of going over 500 miles on a single charge. You have to remember that it's not just about the batteries and the powertrain, it also comes down to the aerodynamics, which I think Lucid has gotten just right. The drag coefficient of the Lucid Air is 0.21, which is the lowest ever recorded in a luxury vehicle. The closest to the Lucid Air is surprisingly not a Tesla. It's actually the Mercedes A-Class vehicles at 0.22, while the Tesla Model S is at 0.23. This might not sound like a huge difference, but it does reduce the air resistance enough to allow the vehicle to have much more range. Lucid is setting new standards for luxury EVs with enough range to bring comfort to those suffering from range anxiety and silencing all the EV naysayers. 517 miles of range on a 113 kWh battery pack is 4.58 miles of range per kilowatt hour. In comparison, Tesla Model S, which is probably the closest competitor to the Lucid Air, is getting 4.02 miles per kilowatt hour. So Lucid seems to be winning in multiple sectors against Tesla. The interior is nothing like Tesla's. It's a lot more luxurious with details all around the car. The Lucid Air has a windshield that expands overhead all the way to the rear seats. It has a T-bar in the middle that has a sleek dome light embedded in the middle. This is where it gets its name from, because when sitting in the back seat, it gives the passenger the feeling of being in an open and spacious environment. The best part of the back seats is that they can recline with a motorized system, which allows you to take full advantage of the enormous glass that encompasses the roof of the vehicle. But the drawback of having such seats is that the trunk is quite small, but the frunk makes up for it, as it is perhaps the largest frunk in an EV. But still, I probably wouldn't do family trips in it. When it comes to charging, Lucid is making their vehicles future-proof with bi-directional charging. This means that their vehicles are capable of V2G and V2V, which stands for vehicle to grid and vehicle to vehicle respectively. I made a video recently that goes more into how vehicles in the future could make peaker plants unnecessary and even reduce the load on the grid during peak hours. If you haven't seen it yet, I highly suggest you watch it to understand this technology better. Lucid is using the CCS standard and partnered with Electrify America to give Lucid Air owners 3 years of complimentary charging. Lucid also offers a home charging station. Home charging is one of the key benefits of EV ownership. In addition to the standard Lucid mobile charging cord that comes with every Lucid vehicle, Lucid has also developed the Lucid Connected Home Charging Station, one of the first AC charging stations with bi-directional charging ever offered. With bi-directional charging, owners can enjoy a more cost-effective charging method and also use their Lucid Air as a temporary energy reserve to power their homes, including off-grid vacation properties. Lucid also announced that it is developing static energy storage systems, which is actually how the company originally started half a decade ago when it was named Ativa. This means that Lucid, just like Tesla, also has their hands in the energy storage systems and is capable of offering energy solutions for the grid, just like Tesla did in Australia. When it comes to software, especially self-driving software, Lucid has a lot of catching up to do, just like every other automaker out there. But Lucid does have their own version of the autopilot, which they call the Lucid Dream Drive. The system has features very similar to Tesla's autopilot, but it has a driver monitoring system and a sensor suite that includes high-resolution LiDAR. Two things that Tesla has stayed away from for its autopilot and self-driving efforts. The Dream Drive system can view and monitor a full 360 degrees around the vehicle and has a blind spot display. It's also capable of recognizing traffic signs. The driver monitoring system will alert for distracted or drowsy drivers. And yes, the car can also park itself. None of these features are groundbreaking. In fact, most of these features are already available in other cars. It's more comparable to GM's Ultra Cruise, which is GM's version of autopilot. When it comes to self-driving capabilities, Tesla has set itself apart from all the competitors out there. In fact, they're so far ahead that Tesla might even start selling or licensing its self-driving software to other manufacturers, if others don't catch up soon. One thing that Lucid and Tesla do have in common though is that they both have over-the-air updates, which most other manufacturers are still figuring out. Software is one of the key aspects of any vehicle today looking to compete in this newly refreshed industry, especially in electric vehicles that are almost like computers on wheels. Lucid hasn't released any information regarding the price of its vehicles, but it's expected to start around $100,000. They're likely to begin manufacturing at their Casa Grande, Arizona factory in early 2021, starting with the Lucid Air sedan. Initially, the company will make higher-end models, and as the production ramps up, they will introduce cheaper lower-end models down the road. The CEO of Lucid expects the production to ramp up throughout 2021 and 2022, with few vehicles in the early phases and about 50,000 vehicles a year in 2 to 3 years. He said that the Lucid Air is going to be equipped with a 900-volt system and have up to 400 miles of real-world range and more. The first version of the car, which might be called Dream Edition based on a recent teaser, is expected to cost over $100,000 and have up to 1,000 horsepower. Rawlinson said that he did not set out to create a car with 1,000 horsepower, but the power is a consequence of creating a long-range electric vehicle. The CEO expects the Air to create a new standard for efficiency with 4 to 5 miles of range per kilowatt-hour for a full-size luxury sedan. It's starting to look like new startups are the ones to be successful while legacy car companies are still trying to figure things out. I think it would be much easier for big giants like GM and Ford to get into the electric vehicle market by starting a new sister company from the ground up instead of trying to steer a big giant in a new direction. As you know, large companies move very slow and take their sweet time to make decisions and get things going. This is an advantage for startups, which is why we have been seeing so many of them lately. But not all startups will be successful. It takes a lot more than a prototype to compete in the automotive industry. So what do you think about Lucid and their vehicles? Would you consider buying one? And how do you think they will do against a company like Tesla? Let me know in a comment below. And if you're still watching, you're awesome. If you own a Tesla and would like to buy accessories to make your Tesla stand out, check out Abstract Ocean and use the code EVSource or the link in the description to receive 10% off on your purchase. And if you would like to show more support for the channel and get cool stuff in return, check out EVSource online store for shirts, hoodies, and more. Or become a patron and get access to exclusive content and get your name on the show. Check out our Patreon page for more information. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you want to see more videos like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the notifications bell so you don't miss out on the future videos. Thanks for watching, and remember to keep charging ahead, and I'll catch you in the next one. Stay safe and take care.